Alright, we're back once again. Let's jump right into it. So, our next choice, I think I'm gonna go for Yuri, since we had a lot in common with her. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I just say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Because you have anxiety, you poor dear. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes, even though she thought we had written many poems before. You liar! Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Well, she specifically hasn't given people access to her poems before, but anyway. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of pure present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of introspection into this one. We didn't really read into Sayori's because we didn't have a lot of time, but I want to try to do this from now on. So, she's talking about the last remaining street light, indicating that she identifies with older things. It's the last to be replaced, so she feels like she herself might be at risk of being replaced. Maybe she's feeling older or more old-fashioned because she doesn't like the sickening blue-green hue of the future. She doesn't like things that are moving so fast. She's breathing the air present but living in the past. That also indicates that, she's just not ready to move forward. And then the light flickers like it's fading, and then she flickers back, kind of to indicate maybe she feels not only that she's being left behind, but maybe that she's losing her own purpose. Maybe. That's my interpretation. Let's see if I was right. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. I'm sorry. Well, I just don't read script very often. Also, I was trying to analyze the metaphors. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Gilbert.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all,
But we were reading it for a long time.
But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Gilbert.
Me too. Alright, so let's do... I feel like since Monika's the leader of the club, we should save her for last, because she might have the most input. So let's go ahead and do Natsuki's.
Gilbert, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh?
What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about.
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
That's not the way to learn. That just embeds your flaws. Fair enough. No, don't agree with this. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. That's about it.
Aw, that's sad. It was just like everyone else can do all these amazing things. And I don't know if she's referring specifically to people or a particular person who isn't able to keep up with any of this, who feels useless. Oh.
Yeah, I told you that you weren't going to like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously.
But isn't the point of writing poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard, like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Alright, the only one left is Monika. Let's go ahead and save it here. And oversave the last one that I had done previously. We're finally caught up! Yes! Of course, I hadn't done it for a month, so I barely remembered the poems, but I'm glad I was able to at least interpret them mostly correctly. I hope. Anyway, see you later, Carrie.